Welcome back to Canadians Leading with Impact. I'm Kevin Crone along with Troy Treleaven. And on today's show, we sit down with somebody who has lived about 5 lifetimes worth of impact. One of Canada's most decorated entrepreneurs, community leaders, and sports officials. He's a member of the Order of Canada, named Entrepreneur of the Decade, celebrated citizen both in Hamilton and Burlington, and the inventor of the world-famous Fox 40 P-less whistle, now sold everywhere in the world. As a lifetime basketball referee, Ron has officiated the 1976 Olympic gold medal basketball game. He's called Michael Jordan's first college game and spent more than 24 seasons with the NBA evaluating officials. In business, he's built and transformed Fluke Transport. If it's on time, it's a fluke. He's built this business into a powerhouse logistical operation. He's met the Queen of England in Buckingham Palace, led major national charities, and shaped Canadian business and sport for decades. This is a conversation with true Canadian, or a true Canadian original, a builder, an inventor, and a leader. Please welcome Ron Foxcroft. All right, well, welcome, Ron, to our podcast. Honor and a privilege to sit down and have this time with you. I excited to. We've been having such great guests, and our mission is to impact people, business peoples and leaders' thinking and strategy to compete today in this business world. And we can't think of a better guest than you to help inspire us. So.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm sorry that I can't reach the epitome that your other guests have. So, I mean, you're stuck. Yeah. You're stuck with me, Kevin from Heaven. So, let's have some fun.
Yeah, right on. First things first, we gotta hear what happened all those years ago back in Waterdown High School, Ron.
I went to Waterdown High School to play football, not to do
that. Was your your first love playing football?
My favorite sport,
basketball.
Yeah. I was going to be the quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Wow, that was the idea.
Yeah. I actually graduated from Maplehurst Public School on Plains Road. And just for clarification, and then I went to Waterdown High School, not really to attend class, and I was kind of underwhelmed by the teachers and by the, but I was a pretty good football player,
right?
And I played on the football team and was the quarterback. And then I went to the odd class. Yeah.
Well, quarterbacks
when it was raining,
quarterbacks get the run of the
Exactly.
Right.
So then I went to Waterdown, and it was kind of boring in class. I really am not an academic.
Yeah.
And so I saw an opportunity at Waterdown, because every Thursday, the kids that misbehave, and I was a regular, would go into what was called the detention room. To make a long story short, they gave you this big multiplication question, and you had to calculate the answer. This is before calculators, let alone computers and cell phones. And so it was kind of hard, and you can't leave the room until you get the answer correct.
Right.
And being a regular every Thursday, and there was a lot of regulars in there, and I went to the janitor one day, and he told me where the answer to the question was. It was in the Gestetner room.
Wow.
And you guys don't even know what a Gestetner is. That was pre-photocopy. That was the pre-photocopy machine.
The one that had the good smelling stuff?
Yeah. Anyway, I got the key to the room, got the answer, and I said, all these saps are here every Thursday, and it takes an hour and a half to get that right answer. I'll just sell them the answer to the detention question.
Wow.
I had a great business because it was cash.
It was a cash business.
50% to the janitor, 50% to me.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is better than going to school.
Yeah, definitely.
And until one student wanted a discount and squealed to the principal.
That was the flaw in the business plan.
And the principal called me in and said, "Ron, you're a problem." And I said, well, I can solve the problem. Just give me 50 on everything and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He said, okay. I said, problem solved. And I left
Wow.
and went back 50 years later. I got invited 50 years later.
This is the irony of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
And 50 years later, the principal introduced me. This is Ron Foxcroft, one of the most distinguished graduates of Waterdown High School. Michelle, timeout. Distinguished attendee. And she said, okay, you speak to these 1,200 kids, but better than that, if you speak at graduation at Hamilton Place in front of 2,000 people, the keynote speaker, I'll give you your graduation diploma.
Wow.
50 years to the day,
You
June
got
the 26th,
expelled.
I think it was 2013, I got my
Wow.
high school
What amazing.
graduation diploma. Not honorary.
No.
I'm a high school graduate.
but you earned it.
And I got a couple of honorary doctorates since then,
Yeah.
and a colonel, and had an opportunity to meet the Queen.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister said to me, Ron, I don't understand. You got a couple of doctorates, you met the Queen, you're a colonel, you got the Order of Canada, but you didn't graduate from high school. And I said, Mr. Prime Minister, in Burlington, we do things a little different.
We sure do. We do.
So,
I gotta ask, what's a queen like? What was that?
Queen is great.
Yeah.
She is great. It was a sad occasion, actually. I'm the honorary colonel of the Argyle Regiment.
That's
And-
right.
And Corporal Nathan Cirillo got killed.
Right.
And being the honorary colonel, you're in charge of his family, his mother, his 4-year-old son, his 2 sisters.
Wow.
But the colonel-in-chief of the Argyle Regiment in Hamilton was Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, wow.
Now, can you imagine getting an email from the Queen? And it said, check your calendar.
Wow.
I want to express condolences to the Cirillo family, to you, in person.
Right.
And imagine you get this email from Her Majesty. And so I went home to Marie and I said, we're going to Buckingham Palace. To which she said, you've been out in the sun.
Yeah.
So we went and we met the equerry, which is her chief of staff. And he gives you 2 hours of instruction with the final instruction, don't touch the Queen. So we went to see the Queen. The appointment was at 12:10 noon. Well, I learned one thing, like it's, if you're on time, you're late. Like fluke transport.
That's it.
If it's on time, it's a fluke. And I learned
Love it.
If you're a business person in this area,
Yeah.
you know that.
if it's on time, it's
yeah.
a fluke.
Yeah.
So we got there in the morning, and in addition to the equerry giving us instructions, Marie, they taught her, these ladies in waiting taught her how to curtsy, and told me, each one of them, the 6 of them, said, don't touch the Queen. So at 12:09, we go in,
Yeah.
and Marie curtsies perfect. I do the nod, and the Queen held out her hand.
Oh.
Well,
D-
I started to sweat. And
Yeah.
what was 3 seconds seemed like 3 hours.
I bet.
Wow.
And I shook her hand, of which I have a beautiful picture of
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
she nodded. Colonel, it's okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such a neat.
Now, later, after the meeting, I got about 200 emails which said, you idiot, you're not supposed to touch the Queen.
Yeah.
Which they're right, because obviously it went all
Yeah.
over social media and the picture and so on. So anyway, what impressed me about the Queen, she knew Corporal Cirillo's mother's name, Catherine. She knew his, his son's name, Marcus, who was 4.
Yeah.
His sister's names, and knew everything.
Wow.
I mean, she was amazing. Now, the audience was to be 10 minutes. It went just shy of an hour.
Wow.
She then turned to Marie and I was with Colonel Kennedy and Colonel Hatfield, our CO, and she said, "Would you like to see my garden?"
Wow.
And can you imagine?
you
We're in
imagine?
her apartment with her 2 corgi dogs, and nobody is allowed there. This is her personal apartment. She said, "By the way, Charlotte is sleeping." Charlotte was a baby who's now, 10?
Yeah.
And said, "We never want to wake a baby while they're sleeping." And that's Charlotte.
Wow.
So
That's
she opened the drapes, and I said, "Your Majesty, that's beautiful. You've done an amazing job cutting your lawn." To which she said, "That's my John Deere. And I cut a little square once a week
Is that
for
right?
these 2 beautiful corgi dogs that are sitting there."
Kidding.
And she said, "You know, I'm a mechanic." I sort of was surprised, but she is a mechanic. She's a licensed mechanic.
Is that right?
Yeah, that when she was 21 years old, she was a licensed mechanic. So then she turned to me and said, "Colonel, did you bring those Canada geese to poop on my lawn?"
That's funny.
And I said, "Your Majesty, I've got the solution."
Oh, and you pull out your whistle.
I gave her an Argyle regimental
No.
logo
Oh, no.
whistle.
Of course you did.
She put it in her mouth and said, "This is better than a shotgun."
Wow. Did she blow it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And she's standing beside her piano. And of course, you know, you're in her apartment. You're looking around at all the pictures and all the
Right.
history.
It
and
must be just-
And she's blowing a Fox 40. Now, what we did, thanks to my staff, you know, the secret to business, surround yourself with people smarter than you. And that's easy. Like, I flunked out of high school. So my people said, "You got to give the queen a gift." So what we did is we formed a poppy. My people did all the research. We realized and found out that her favorite flower is a poppy. So we made a red poppy, framed 4 feet, made out of Fox 40 whistles.
Wow.
Red Fox 40 whistles.
amazing.
She had it right beside her on an easel.
No kidding.
And she said, "You tell me the Fox 40 story, because I'm going to take this poppy and it will hang in Buckingham Palace forever."
No.
It's in Buckingham Palace.
Your whistles
Yeah.
and Poppy
Yeah.
is hanging in Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. Now, if you do a Zoom with me, and you know, before COVID, I couldn't even spell Zoom, and now I do it all the time. If you, in my background, is a Canadian flag. You know, I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
Nobody's more proud to be Canadian than me.
Yeah.
And behind in my background is the 4-foot Canadian flag made out of red and white Fox
So
40
great.
whistles.
Oh, wow.
That was a real, you know, going to see Her Majesty wasn't even on the bucket list.
No.
Because Kevin from heaven, you go home and tell your family, even your father,
Yeah.
you know, who's certifiably insane,
That's true.
I'm going to see the Queen.
Yeah.
And he'd say, "You know where you got to go? You got to go to West Fifth and Fennel at the mental hospital,
Right,
because
right.
you're pulling my leg."
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
But
right.
we went.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Amazing.
went. Now, you know, I'm very proud that she was the Colonel-in-Chief. Let me just tell you, though, she says, "I'm proud to be the Colonel-in-Chief of the Argyle Regiment in Hamilton, Canada." And I said, "Your Majesty, why do you say that?" She said, "Because the best reservists in the world are Canadian."
Wow.
That's what she said.
Amazing. Amazing.
So,
What a
Yes.
what a story to bring back to the
yeah,
to
the regiment.
Yeah.
I'm still involved in the regiment.
Yeah.
And once again, surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with smart people. You know, you got the technology people here, obviously smarter than both you
Big
guys
time,
combined.
yeah.
Put
Or we
together.
couldn't do this podcast without their ability at
Yeah.
what they do.
That's right.
You know, and it's a pretty simple formula. You know, don't take analysis into paralysis, and surround yourself with smart people. And
That's
you know,
it.
people say to me, you know, tell me about the trucking business. No, I just own a trucking
That's
business.
right.
You want to know something about the trucking business? Talk to the drivers, the mechanics, and the people running it.
That's right.
Not me, because I'm not the expert.
Yeah.
You know, and if I was going to start Dale Carnegie, I owe everything to Dale Carnegie. I do. And, you know, I'm an unpaid endorser.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah.
should start paying me.
Yeah. We
'Cause
should.
I could really say,
Yeah.
I could say some nice things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seeing that I'm unpaid,
Feel free.
seeing that I'm unpaid.
You're gonna hold back a bit?
Yeah, I'm going to hold back a little. But, you know, back over 30 years ago, I had trouble with communications. Basically, I couldn't communicate beyond a meeting with two people. I had zero confidence. And
And
you know,
for anybody that knows you,
That
you'll
doesn't
think that
seem
is
possible.
just not
Yeah.
possible, right?
yeah. So my friend Chip Shot Al Taylor from Taylor Moving and Storage took Dale Carnegie,
Yeah.
and he knew Kevin from heaven,
Yeah.
your dad.
Yeah.
And other than the fact that he confirmed that Kevin from heaven was certifiably insane, he liked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
Well, they had
liked-
some
He's so
things in
likable.
common.
They had
yeah.
some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he said, you got to take Dale Carnegie. It will help you remember names. It'll help you with confidence. It'll help you with communications. And I took Dale Carnegie. I met Cyril Perkins. This is the name tag at my first meeting.
Wow.
You notice my first name is big.
Is big.
And Cyril and Kathy Mather taught me business is not technology, business is not concrete buildings, business is people communicating with people. And they taught me your name's important. And always remember the person's name that you're dealing with, and try and remember what they take in their coffee, and try and remember what they put on their hamburger. All these things, like this is like 3 decades ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing, I was explaining to Cyril that I'm having trouble communicating. I'm nervous, and I have no confidence in a meeting of more than 2 people. And they said, we'll teach you. And I went every week on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And I learned the one thing
Was
about
it here in Burlington or?
in Burlington.
It was
at the Holiday Inn. Yeah, actually near here, because we're
Yeah,
at the
it's
Harvesters.
across the street,
And they taught me about the importance of your name, the importance of having confidence to project yourself in a meeting with authenticity. And they also taught me 3 words: preparation, preparation, preparation. And then I took 3 words: predict, plan, perseverance. That's my 3. I shared that with Michael Lee Chin.
Oh wow.
And Michael Lee Chin actually thought of that. I can't take credit for it. I stole it from him.
From him.
You know, R&D, rob and duplicate.
That's it.
And I got to say, it's Michael Lee Chin's 3 Ps. Predict, plan, perseverance. And don't give up. If your gut says you can get it done, then don't take analysis into paralysis. Don't listen to all these academics that get something out of a textbook. Like, I can give you 2 examples. When we did Fluke, that was back in 1983. Fluke Transport's 105 years old. The famous slogan.
Right.
If it's on time, it's a fluke.
Right.
And 2 owners in 105 years.
Amazing.
And I was going to buy it with no money. Now, I had been working for a trucking company, and the owner of the trucking company did a lot of things right and a lot of things wrong. And I learned early, if you do a lot of things wrong, it's not failure. It's a learning experience. If you learn not to do it wrong. So I thought, you know what? It doesn't matter what I buy. I don't have any money anyway, so there's no risk to me. I have no money. I'm a
can't leave
basketball
something
ref. I'm
you
a
don't have.
basketball ref making 75 cents a game down at the CYO when Father Kennedy said to me, "You should take up bowling because you're rotten."
Wow.
And I need change from the 75 cents. But I still had the 75 cents. And so I learned, no matter what business you buy, you got to believe in it in the gut. And you can't take analysis into paralysis. And business is pretty simple. It's pretty simple. More money comes in than goes out.
That's right.
And I'm pretty good with numbers. Like, I was making $10 a week at Waterdown High School.
yeah.
And all these other saps are in class.
Yeah.
So I said to my friend, I need $100,000 to buy Fluke in 1983.
Right.
And he said, that's the stupidest idea I've ever seen. But you're Canadian, and you're refereeing in NCAA Division I,
Yeah.
and you're Canadian.
So if you can do that,
I believe in you, but I don't believe in trucking. Here's $100,000.
right.
Wow. So he
Well,
bet on you, not on
He
the
bet
business.
on
Yeah.
me, and I said, I've watched what an owner of a trucking company did right, and I also watched what he did wrong. And what he did wrong, I'm going to take and teach myself. That's a learning experience. So there's no such a thing as failure.
Yeah.
There's a failure if you don't treat it as a learning experience. So he lent me $100,000 in 1983. And I said, you be my partner.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't know the first thing about trucking. What do you want me to do? And I said, real simple. Listen to me complain. Play squash with me. Play tennis with me. Play golf with me. And listen to me complain.
Wow.
And
Seems like a good
deal. Yeah.
20 years ago, I gave him a big check. Alan, I love you to death. You're my best friend. Thanks for being my partner. But, sometimes good things end to move on to different conquests. And then, so we got Fluke going pretty good. I paid him back in 89 days plus interest.
Really amazing.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Keep your promises.
Yeah.
They just named Bill DeLuca, Aldershot Landscaping, Entrepreneur of the Year, Hall of Fame in Burlington.
Yeah.
And the one thing, when we were 12 years old, his dad told us, we played on the same baseball team at Aldershot. The Smoke Eaters. We were sponsored by the fire department. They never lost a basement. Yeah.
That's right.
He said, always keep your promises. How important is that
Oh,
today?
it's everything. Huh?
Oh.
Leadership.
Yeah.
And so that stuck with me. And Bill talked about that just a few weeks ago when he was put in the Hall of Fame of Burlington. always keep your promises. So then I'm refereeing in the NCAA, and I refereed Michael Jordan's first game, and I had come off of working the Olympic.
Did you know he was Michael Jordan at that time? Like, what
His
was it?
first game?
Yeah, like, was that in the air?
I'm glad you asked me that question.
And my other question
Yeah,
is, being, all those years being a referee. I mean,
yeah,
being a referee is one thankless.
I'm in my 49th year.
It is an
Yeah,
amazing.
getting abused.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I can get
So-
abused by my wife. A lot
Right.
easier.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you?
Why subject yourself?
You
to
must
that?
have the thickest
I do.
skin, right? Like
know
that's
what?
what must it take to do
Funny
that,
you
right?
said that.
You know.
But when I'm golfing and there's a distraction in the background, and my partners will say to me, "Doesn't that bother you?" I said, "No."
Are you kidding?
I had
This is nothing.
20,000 people hate my guts.
Just-
Yeah.
trying to get at you, right?
It's called ignore.
Yeah.
Ignore. Yeah. I've spent my whole life being wrong. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, I do the Olympic final.
I can't imagine you and your family, the boys, all sitting around
Yeah.
talking about your thick skin,
Yeah.
all because you guys are all referees and
Well, they have already declared me certifiably insane, and I'm glad you brought that up because I refereed the Olympic gold medal game, and the whistle with the P got stuck.
That's right.
Don't muck up the Olympic gold medal game. But that night, I signed with the NCAA. Can you imagine? At the time, I was working college ball in Canada for $25, and now I'm going and making $1,000 US. Like they said, do you want to ref in the NCAA? I said, yeah, give me directions to the airport.
Yeah,
There was no GPSs in those days. Just give me directions. 25 years
Wow.
being told. But then I went to the pre-Olympics in Brazil, and the difference between the Montreal Olympics of a disappointing crowd when my P got stuck. In Brazil, they shoot referees.
that's right. Yeah.
So I remember laying
So
on the
you've
floor.
saved a lot of lives
Oh, yeah.
around the
Yeah.
globe, right?
This whistle saved a lot.
Yeah.
So I came back and I said, Marie, I need $150,000 to design a P-less whistle. Once again, Marie and my kids, he's been out in the sun too long
Yeah.
without a hat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when I was doing the whistle, it took me 3.5 years with an engineer, a scientist, a PhD in sound, and a music teacher. 3.5 years.
To get the classic one
Yeah.
done here, right? This is the
Yeah, and $150,000, of which I didn't have. So the first thing I did is I went to the bank. I said, "Bank, I need $150,000."
How'd that go?
They said,
And they said,
You're certified.
there's a hospital at West 5th and Fennel,
Of course.
and they've got some medication. And anyway, my engineer, Chuck Shepard, smartest guy I've ever met, next to you two.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. So he said, nobody's going to buy a P-less whistle. I'm not taking the file. I'm going out the door. And he said, are you that guy that puts, if it's on time, it's a fluke
Yeah.
on the back of your truck? I said, yep, that's me. It's copyrighted.
Yeah.
He said,
Huh.
well, obviously you're not the smartest guy on the planet, but you sound like a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And the last 2 years of the design, we spent an hour every day for 2 years to get this design. Wow. And once we had it, he turned to me and he said, we've made the best whistle in the world. Wow. Now, promise me you'll dedicate your life to making it better. He said, you've got to spend every year making it better, and we do. We make technology changes, we make improvements,
To this
we
day,
make
you
colors,
still do that.
we improve the packaging, we're environmentally friendly. we've added 200 products. Like when you think of Fox 40, people think they're a whistle company. No,
Right. No,
we're a search and rescue company. We're a safety company. You can't be a licensed lifeguard without a Fox 40. In every sport, on the planet, everywhere I go in the world, I turn on the TV and there's usually soccer with a Fox 40.
Yeah.
Made in Canada.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
We make them in Canada. 20,000 a day.
Right.
Made in Canada. But I go back to the beginning, and I've learned a lot, and I've learned how important a couple of things are that I was taught at Dale Carnegie. Communication skills, confidence, and preparation. And I'll give you an example that I learned at my course. I give speeches, and I got advice on giving speeches because I'm rotten. Always follow a dud. So I never want to follow you or your dad because you're not bad. I'm going to follow a dud. That's the first thing. Follow a dud. Second thing, prepare. And that applies to business. That applies to a meeting. That applies to a presentation. That applies to sales. That applies to marketing. Last week, I was asked on Tuesday to do a speech on Wednesday because somebody canceled. And I said, no. I'm not going into a meeting or a gathering without preparation.
Yeah.
And that's about leadership. It's about, and I'll tell you what really bothers
Well,
me.
what's interesting, Ron, is, everyone that you interact with would see a charismatic, personable, fun business guy, but it's all preparation.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all hard work.
Oh.
It's not born with.
I'm a born introvert.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm born shy, introverted.
Yeah.
And, they say entrepreneurs are born. Oh, no, you are built and trained.
Forged.
Yeah, you're forged.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And then the other thing, leadership. There is terrible political leadership at all levels. You know why? Because to get reelected, then you have to be doling out candy and not necessarily doing the right thing.
Right.
And as a leader, I've talked to Kevin from heaven about this, go sell ice cream. If you want to be happy and make people happy, then go sell ice cream.
Right.
Be the yummy man.
Yeah.
The
And
only
sell
business,
ice cream
yeah.
with your bell. And that's what's wrong. You know what's wrong right now? Partisan politics. Everybody wants to be the leader, the main guy, the quarterback, because all these politicians get on the gravy train. Now, there's some good ones, and they get buried by the bad ones
Right.
with the agenda of getting reelected instead of what's doing good for the country. And I am really adamant about that. Let's get rid of partisan politics. And let's, I'll tell you why today, we used to get a lot of good leaders. You used to get a lot of business people that really didn't need to get reelected or needed the money. They only needed to do what's right for the province or the country. Now, you get on that gravy train, you get that big pension, and they're not necessarily doing what's good. They're following the partisan politics. I hate to be like a whiner on this podcast, but I am. It bothers me. It bothers me. And it's so unlike business, because in business, you want to do the right thing for your employees and your customers. The two most important things, your customers and your employees.
Yeah,
And that's what's important. And also making a profit. Because in Canada, if you make a profit, you're frowned on. In the United States, if you make a profit, they build statues for you. But
right.
people that make profit support charities, support not-for-profits, support people, hire people.
Yeah.
I mean, at your company, you hire people. You give them a living, and it's fantastic.
The greatest charity, right, is a
Yeah.
business creates jobs for people. It's
Yeah,
like,
and the more jobs and profit you make, the better you are for your country.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a message that we really want Canadian leaders to understand these days.
Yeah.
It's like there's this, whatever reason, it's back to what you said, like we don't reward profit like they do in the States.
No,
right?
because you know what? When you're thinking of going in business, like I say, you don't take analysis into paralysis. You remember that business is basically people communicating with other people, realizing you need more money coming in than more money going out. It's uncomplicated. You don't need a doctorate to figure that out. And then your gut will tell you what's good. When I did the whistle, every human being on the planet told me it wouldn't work. That was my motivation.
Yeah.
In my gut, I knew it would. Now, 95% of all patented products never hit a store shelf. So you're batting a high percentage by telling somebody that wants to start a new business it may not work.
Pretty safe.
You could get a pretty swelled head. I told you so.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you so. Probably you'd be right, and you get a swelled head.
Yeah.
But leaders have courage, and I had courage to prove everybody wrong. My kids would say, "Just ignore Dad. He's working on this silly peeless whistle. He's a decent guy. Humor him."
Yeah.
Wow.
And even my wife didn't make too many comments. I knew she didn't believe it would ever work. And now she gives clinics at the mall on spending. Like, she's good at it. She teaches. She's down at the mall right now giving a clinic on spending. Yeah. Someone stole her
doing
Visa
workshops
card.
on it,
We were out and someone stole our Visa card, and I didn't report it to the cops because the thief is.
It was
spending
spending less.
Yeah. But anyway, nobody believed it, but I did.
Yeah.
So you don't need all these, charts and as long as you understand, more has to come in than go out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got a pretty clear
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, and with me, we have 300 employees. Every one of them know more about their job than I could possibly know.
Wow.
And boy, that gives you options
Yeah, I guess.
to hire smart people, smarter than you. Sometimes managers hire people dumber than them to save their job. Owners hire people smarter than them to save their business. There's a big difference there. Yeah, but I believe in it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Dale Carnegie taught me how important communication was. The thing that they drilled in my head, business is people. Business is people communicating. And now, Kevin from heaven, you're more important because people are not going to offices like they used to. They're sitting in their pajamas in their mother's basement on a screen 8 hours a day. That's their job. They're not interacting. They're not going into a meeting where I can look at your body language and see your body language. Ron's full of shit. You can portray that,
We can figure it out.
but it's harder to pick out that you think I'm a jerk on a screen, right?
Right.
Or you're not buying what I'm selling on a screen. So Dale Carnegie is more important than ever to teach impact, leadership, courage, communications. It's really, really more important than ever because I got to tell you, without exaggerating, 50% of my meetings now are on Zoom. Since COVID. As I told you, before COVID, I couldn't spell Zoom.
Right.
And now imagine 50% of my meetings are on electronic Zoom.
Right.
And it's hard for young people coming out of school. And
They
that's
haven't had the
yeah.
experience to develop their
practice.
Exactly.
muscles. Their
Exactly. And so, there's a real shortage of people in business today with exceptional people communication skills. Also, there's a real shortage of the trades. If I was a young kid,
Oh yeah.
I'd be thinking about a trade.
Big time.
The other shortage? Salespeople.
Yes.
There's a lot of order takers, and there's a lot of good administrators.
Yeah.
There's a real people that are watching this broadcast should understand. There's a shortage of people communication skill people. There's a shortage of salespeople, and there's a shortage of skilled trade. So if you want a job for life, don't go to the government. Well, if you can go to the government and have a job for life and never work a day in your life.
Right.
My two brothers work for the government, never worked a day in their life. and I'm a sap. I've worked every day of my life.
Yeah.
But so short of going to work for the government, sales, trades, and a job that requires skilled people communication. Yeah.
That's good advice. You'll have a job forever. You could-
Forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Learn to sell.
Forever. Yeah.
Learn to influence. Learn to.
Yeah, right. I'm 80 years old. I'm planning on retiring in 20 years because I work every day. And my retirement, you're invited, and you're invited.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, no speeches.
Okay.
All right.
Deal.
It'll be a
Let's deal.
wonderful event in 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll still want to give a speech though.
probably. Short, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, this has been unbelievable.
Hey, my book.
Yes.
We gotta
gotta
talk about
do
my
it,
book. For years, people said, "Would you write a book?" And I said, "I haven't got time." This took a year. Mike Ulmer helped me with this. He's a genius. Surround yourself. If you want to write a book with a writer,
Yeah. That
a
sounds.
journalist.
Yeah.
And he said, "I've done 95% of the research on you." That was a lie. But I bought into it. And we did this book, The 40 Ways of the Fox. And the 41st way is kind of neat. And I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
My assistant of 27 years came into me, and we had our 40 ways.
Yeah.
She said, "You're forgetting the most important one." And I said, "What's that?" She said, "Well, you're not in trucking, you're not in warehousing, you're not in whistles, you're not in safety. You are in the business of providing quality customer service to your customers." She said, "Every business is the same. What's your mission?" Simple. Provide quality customer service. Your company, I know you're in training and leadership and communications and impact. Correct. You're in one other thing. Providing quality customer service to your customers by making an impact. So we're in the same business.
Somehow that's hitting me differently while Ron is staring at me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like
very
right.
true.
Yeah.
So get the book. 100% of the money goes to City Kids and Liberty for You.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Fox40shop.com.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. That's
Yeah. Right.
And we can get all of these, the different
Yep.
varieties. There's so many, and all the attachments go with it.
Fox40shop.com.
Foxfortyshop.com.
Get on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Gosh,
Wow.
this is great.
It is
Well,
great. Yeah.
So inspiring. My son is going to be so happy because he's starting his football career at Waterdown.
Yeah.
You're going to
great.
give him a an idea. He's a lot like you.
Oh, that's
so it
great.
makes me nervous.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's
yeah.
Waterdown High School.
Yeah.
Graduate.
Yes,
Would
that's
you
right.
Reinforce the fact that I did graduate?
100%.
Famous graduate.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Ron, we're just so grateful that you took the time, and your messages is so simple and clear and precise in the way you tell it. And you are a model for leaders in Canada
Thanks,
to follow.
Troy.
So, well,
Been my pleasure. Been my pleasure. Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Like to come back.
Yeah,
great.
super
Love to have
fun.
you.
I've been watching you at Tiger Cat games,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
for all these years.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, my first introduction to you. So I'm originally from north of Peterborough, Buckhorn. That's where I grew up.
At Lakefield.
Lakefield
Lake
is where I went to high school.
Kachewanuka.
That's where I went to high school. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
love Lake Kachewanuka. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
I came to McMaster, and I was on a committee, and we were looking for a speaker.
Yeah.
This is back in 1991.
Wow.
And they said, well, why don't we get Ron Foxcroft? I said, well, who's Ron Foxcroft? Because I was from out of town, right?
Sure.
And,
Peterborough Canoe.
That's right. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you grew up on a canoe.
I did on Buckhorn Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
And but they said, so who's he? And I said, is he from McMaster? They said, he's better than that. And so
I do have a doctorate from
I know
McMaster.
you do have a doctorate, which is the coolest thing. And
Yeah.
and we had you come as a speaker back in the day, and
Wow.
and you were tremendous, and that was my first introduction to you. And,
Thank you.
Then through the years, made all these other connections about
Yes,
Dale
yes.
Carnegie and all that.
Right,
But,
right.
Really
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to see
Yeah.
you again. and
My
this is
pleasure.
amazing.
Well,
My
that's what I was just
pleasure.
about to say. You'd think this is Ron on a podcast. It's not. This is Ron everywhere.
That's right.
With everyone.
Yeah.
This is how I see how you are.
Yeah.
So connected with people, enthusiasm, passion, focused. Such a pleasure. I wish you all the best. Continued
Thank you.
success with your
Thanks for
everything.
having me.
Thank you.
man.
I'm glad you made the phone call.
Yeah.
A pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
And let's do it again and have some fun.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ron.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ron.